What's up? You're listening to the Overflow Unplugged podcast, where we have helpful conversations around the real questions that 18 to 25-year-olds are asking. Every episode, we intend to encourage, challenge, and equip you to thrive as you navigate your young adult life. Me, Carson, and Anna are having a conversation today all about friends and what it looks like to have formative community. And so let's jump in. What's up? Come on, man. Let's go.
I wish that everybody could see what led to us starting recording just now.
Yeah.
I took a sip of water.
Yep.
Anna took a really long sip of water.
That was good.
Anna, was that the
Refreshing.
first sip of water that you've had all day?
No, I'm almost finished with my water bottle.
Okay,
on.
perfect.
My first one of the
It's
day.
a new water bottle, right? You told me about that the other day.
Yeah, it is. My sister gave it to me. It's pink.
You want to show the people?
It's pink, guys. It's pink.
Here
If
she
you're
is.
not watching this, if you're listening to this, you need to go to the YouTube channel and check it out.
It's actually insane how many water bottles you get, but you don't drink water.
I do now. Like right now in this season of my life, I'm drinking water.
And they're all pink.
And they're all
They
pink.
all look the same. They just...
Jake, you came here to this podcast recording with a direction for us today.
Man. Yeah, but
Can we just acknowledge, though, we're back?
We're back,
Like,
man.
so
typically,
back.
it takes us months to release episodes.
Well, it still might take us months to release.
No. We're here.
edit.
We're here recording because we're valuing Overflow Unplugged.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
putting
Come
energy
on.
toward it. We believe that the conversations we're going to have at this table in the future are going to be helpful,
Yep,
and that's important.
it is.
So we can be excited about that.
Come on.
We
Second
can
one
be.
we're doing in a month.
Right? And it's like the
Wow.
first
That's big.
podcast
Really?
we've done in like a year that's not about dating.
Wow.
Whoa.
But is close, and we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
we'll get to
We'll
that
get
later.
to that.
Man, give us a little update, man. What's going on in the life
Of Anna Gentry.
Oh,
What's
Anna
going on?
Gentry and her commune?
Car shopping? Question
Car
mark?
shopping.
Oh, yeah.
Car shopping. Yeah, I'm looking for a new car, so that's
Come
really
on.
fun
How-
right now.
How's that
Budge.
going?
It's going. It's
Big
going. Not
She's
a big
balling
budge.
out.
I'm not. I'm looking at some RAV4s.
That's a big budge.
Okay.
That's a big budge.
Raise your hand at the table if you have a RAV4 in your house.
that's good.
In your house.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my
Jake
wife
Smith.
makes more money than me. That's just
Oh,
the reality. That's just the reality.
Yep, I'm car shopping. It's time to trade in my old faithful car. I've loved her for all the years that I've had her, but
Old faithful.
it's time.
What did
she's
you
on the
call
way
it
out.
the other day?
Carson, how are you?
I am
How are you
so
doing, man?
good.
We'll jump.
We're recording this on the week of Thanksgiving,
Yep.
and Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays of
Come
the
on,
year.
man.
I was talking to somebody about it this morning. It's just low pressure,
Yeah.
right? Like the whole point is to be with your people and be grateful for what God
No
has given you.
presents, just hanging
Exactly.
out.
There's nobody that's entitled to anything.
come on.
Man, they're
There's
not like that. This present sucks.
Yeah, like there's a beauty to
There
it that
is.
I love to savor every year. So I'm really excited about that. My kids are great. We had a little Thanksgiving feast today. So Lennon had a little turkey
Oh,
hat thing
Come
on.
on,
And she came
man.
out
Cutest.
and sang all her things on the stage and clapped the whole time.
Oh.
And
man.
I'm beaming with pride.
Yeah.
I'm officially that parent that takes your iPhone camera,
Yeah.
no.
and zooms
I'm here for
way
it, man.
far
It looks
in.
There
like
it
garbage.
is.
I'm
but
that
I'm
person
here for
now.
it.
Because
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna post it. I just
Yeah,
want it
it's
for
just
me.
for you.
Yeah.
Right.
You might actually probably never watch it again. honestly.
That's probably the truth. But like, I have it,
But
and
it's
I
the
know I
pride
have it.
of a
Yeah.
father in the moment. It's
Exactly.
beautiful.
Jake, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. So actually, something similar. My nieces have a dance recital coming up, and I was like, "Bro, I'm like so excited." And I'd imagine it's probably nothing like crazy. They're like 4 and 5 or 3 and 4.
it's
So
gonna-
I mean,
you're gonna cry.
yeah. I mean, it's gonna be incredible for me, but I mean, performance-wise,
Come on, no,
Well, they got that. Come on,
saying,
Jake.
I'm just saying.
They're
Okay,
gonna
all
crush
right,
it.
all right, you're right. Anyways,
gonna
I'm
be
excited. I'm excited to be there and to be like in support and to bring flowers because they do that.
Yeah.
Gosh,
When you have a
man,
kid
so I'm
one
just
day, you're
excited.
gonna be a proud
I'm
parent.
gonna be a proud parent. Which
Well,
last time we were on the podcast, I felt like I couldn't say this.
You
during
couldn't
my
because it wasn't
update,
public.
and I wasn't sure when I was actually going to be able to post the previous podcast that we recorded. But
Well, go ahead and say
I'm
it right
having a
now.
baby.
You're happy.
What?
Well,
Okay.
my wife is.
Well-
My wife's having a baby, and I'm there with her in support. So I'm gonna be a dad.
Y'all are having
That
a
was
baby.
We're
great.
having a baby, and
The
man,
Smith family becomes 3.
Wow.
it's incredible. So
Do you have a hunch, boy or girl?
I
By asking you here, we're like putting it on the record.
Yeah. I don't want to go on the record,
Okay,
honestly.
great.
So
No problem.
I
That's
feel like
valid.
I have a hunch, but I don't know. I've had people come up to me and say both, so I have no idea. So
yeah. That's
discernment's struggling here. trying to figure out. So we'll see. Anatomy scan is in December. So
Oh my
we'll find.
goodness.
And I think we'll do
So
like
soon.
a little family gender reveal. So
that'll be awesome.
we're
Sweet.
excited, man. We're
You're gonna
excited.
FaceTime us in?
Yeah, we will.
Perfect.
So, anyways, the conversation.
If you want to, you can, but
listen,
do not
I'll let
feel
you
like
know.
you have to.
Absolutely.
I know Hannah just
But we're
applied a little-
family,
little
because
pressure.
we're
So
family.
you should.
We're family, and that's what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
Is formative
Come on.
community friendships, why they're important. And I thought it would be really cool just to start to talk a little bit about some formative community or friendships kind of in our life that we've seen be like really influential. What do they look like? What are some of the characteristics or maybe even stories that have come to, man, this like formed me and shaped me in my walk with the Lord and the person that I've become today. So.
Yeah, I love that, Jake. I think this conversation is going to be helpful to me as I hear y'all process it and as I process it out loud. Because it's not very often that we sit down to just talk about friendship, especially compared to how much time we spend in friendship, right? Like we're in community all the time. Or at least it feels that way in college, young adult life. Like you're constantly around people. But how often is it that you zoom out and you look down and go, what's the condition of my relationship with other people? And I would really love to know, like, how have you processed this? Because I feel like you've been in a lot of different communities over the course of your life. And you've made a lot of, I hear you talk about a friend group all the time. Like that's a new friend group for what I'm like hearing you talk about, and you're listing them off by name, and I'm like, I don't know who these people are, but you sound like you're so close with them, and none of them live in Wilmington, and I just think that's like such an admirable thing about you. So I would love for you to maybe jump in there.
Yeah. I think friendship is something that's like really close to my heart, and I've gotten to experience it in a lot of different places, just because of the like life I've lived in my adulthood. And like you said, I've got friends all over. I was in missions for 5 years, so I have friends all over the world, which is really, really fun. But I have a pocket of friends in Nashville, Tennessee. And it is really sweet to like navigate long distance friendship with them, because two of the girls there are some of my like closest friends and have seen me through some of the hardest seasons of my life and some of the best seasons of my life. And they've walked really closely with me through all of it. And I have been like so formed by them because I like let them into my life, and I like tell them the things that I'm walking through, and I let them speak into me, and I let them challenge me. And it goes both ways of like, we understand that I'm going to challenge you because I'm your friend and because I love you deeply. And so you're allowed to tell me like when I'm wrong and when I need to change the way I'm doing things and stuff like that. And it takes a like vulnerability and a surrender to be like, okay, but like I trust you and I'm assuming the best of you. I think that's like something that's really important in friendships.
Yeah, assuming the best. Like that's such a hard and tricky thing to do, I think, in friendship. Like we oftentimes, like our flesh really does gravitate toward assuming the worst. Like our insecurity says, you don't care about me because you didn't text me, or we haven't spent enough time together over the past couple of weeks, so therefore our friendship must be on the rocks, or like things aren't going well just because we haven't been in the same room with each other. And of course that can be a thing that needs to be like processed, of like how much time you're making yourself available. But I think something that you just said there that's so huge is longevity. The reality that friendship is always a marathon, not a sprint. But we live in an instant gratification culture. Like we see something, we want something now, and we're seldom willing to run the long-term race to get the long-term reward, meaning the reward that is only available on the other side of a long-term journey.
Yeah.
And I feel like what you're even alluding to there is like the fruitfulness of your friendships today. It hasn't always been that fruitful.
Yeah.
That's grown over time.
Yeah,
because
for
you've
sure.
had patience.
Yeah. And like one of my closest friends, I was acquaintances with her for 2 years. Like we worked on the same campus and we were around each other. And so we knew of each other. But it wasn't until we like took the time to get to know each other. We lived together, like all of those things that now I'm like, she's one of my closest friends. She knows everything about me. And I like get to do life with her when we're together and when we're apart. but it has taken longevity. And I have realized that there are a couple specific people that I'm like, oh, when like I say this about one of my best friends now, I'm like, when people meet her, I make more sense because so much of who I am is formed by our friendship. Where I'm like, the two of us in a room together, my humor makes a little bit more sense, and my like the way that I see God makes a little bit more sense because I've learned it from her. And I think that's something that you can see.
So we need to
reflected.
meet her, Jake.
Yeah, facts. Dude.
You have.
It's like I don't know. Yeah, it's like I don't know Anna fully unless I meet her. That's crazy. Yeah. That's insane. What I'm like actually really encouraged by, Anna, when I look at your life is how your proximity to people don't limit your ability to like invest in them or to be invested in.
Yeah.
And it's like you have continued to build these really deep relationships in Nashville where you go and visit them fairly regularly and like, and you would still consider them like your close friends. How do you do that? Like how do they stay so rock solid?
Oh gosh, I think it takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
Like it's not going to come easy, and it's not going to just be like, okay, well, we see each other every once in a while, and when we're in person, then it's great. But it takes a lot of like work on the back end of being like, no, but I'm still going to text you. I'm still going to follow up. I'm still going to try my hardest to stay connected with you. And I have like wrestled through that really, like, frankly, being so far away from a lot of my like close friends that have known me for the last 10 years of my life, or 5 years of my life, maybe. It's hard, like, cause I'm like, oh, they all live together and they're in community every day together. And I'm not, but that kind of just spurs me on more where I'm like, okay, but that means that I'm going to have to try harder and I'm going to have to be more intentional. And it makes our time way more intentional because we're like, okay, our time is short. Like I was in Nashville 2 weeks ago and it was just for the weekend. And so every conversation that I'm having, I'm leaning in a little bit more and I'm like, okay, I don't know when the next time I can get to see you face to face is. And so while I'm here face to face with you, I'm going to lean in as much as I can. But I'm still going to be as intentional as I can. And I'm still going to have fun with you. I think that's something that we miss in like long distance friendship is it's like we're telling each other the highlights of our lives or we're trying to catch people up to where we're at. But it's like, what if I just want to call you and laugh with you for a little while? Or when we're together, we're just going to go and like hang out and have fun together. And it doesn't always have to be this like really intense, like, okay, and then this is happening and this is happening.
Yeah, leveraging what you have, like what's available to you, because seasons of life change so rapidly. Like it's interesting, driving to the church just 30 minutes ago to record this podcast, I talked on the phone for 4 stoplights worth of conversation in Wilmington. So what is that, 15 minutes? And we talked. My friend was walking through the airport in Atlanta. We caught up for just a few minutes. We talked about our families. We talked about the church. We talked about where he works. And he used to work here at our church, and he left quite some time ago. I mean, it's been probably more than 8 or 9 years ago. I can't remember quite exactly when he left, but we that's our friendship. It operates in 5 to 6 minute intervals because he's got 4 kids. I've got 3. Both of our jobs are wide open, and like we play phone tag back and forth, and then finally we get each other on the phone, and it's like, how are you? How can I pray for you? Like what can I do to support you? And he lives in Charlotte, and it's a life-giving friendship, but we don't get to go to coffee. Or when he's in Wilmington, we may even just see each other. Like he might come to church, and that be the time I get to see him. But I guarantee you, if I was struggling, he would be one of the first people that I would call. Because I know that I trust him, and I know that I love him, and I know that he loves me, and I know that we've been walking together over a long period of time. So, I mean, I think that they're, to the person where you're going, like, I don't know that I have very many deep friends, and I hear what Anna has, or I hear, or what Jake has, or what you're even hearing me describe. The thing that I would encourage you, as a young adult, you are so early in life, you haven't always, not everybody's had the amount of time that it takes to form deep, meaningful, life-giving relationships. So would you give yourself some grace, in this moment? If you don't feel like you've arrived there with the right amount of people, which I think we're going to talk about, friend group size, at some point along the way, which I think is such a great question. I mean, give yourself some grace, and then go give your friends some grace. Like, I think a lot of times the thing that limits our friendships the most is our expectations of our friends. We're holding this like long list of expectations in a way kind of against them. Like it's a lens through which we see somebody that's turning your people into a product. And as long as a person is a product or as an object to you, you're never going to have a meaningful relationship with them, which I think is woven into the DNA of creation. Why did God give Adam and Eve a choice? Because he wanted them to have the opportunity to choose him, which is a prerequisite for a real, meaningful relationship. What was the risk in that on God's part? The risk was evil coming into the world. But he wanted a relationship with his creation that deeply that he was willing to put that on the table, which that gets into a huge theological conversation, which I think could be fun to have at some point. But I think that should encourage all of us, that it's worth the work.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting. The reality that like relationships or friendships are work, I think is really important, because I have a lot of conversations with people where they think it should become really natural and it should be like easygoing and flowy. And it's like, man, like it might be like that even right now as a college student. Maybe some of you are like, oh, this is kind of easy because I go to class with these people, I go to church with these people, I'm in small groups, whatever. But eventually we're telling you it is going to get really, really hard. I mean, just to hear you talk about like your friend that you feel so close with, you guys have kids and, you know, jobs, you live in completely different cities, and it's like, but you guys still have to prioritize it. Same with you in Nashville. And it's like, it's going to take a lot of work. Like it takes work. And it can be really, really hard. It's not always going to be easy. And so you have to be like prepared for that. When we think about like formative community though, say like someone who is proximate, or even like the friends that you have in Nashville, Anna, when you think about a group that's forming you, what does it look like? What are even like some pillars? What are things that we know, or should be implemented into those groups for it to become formative?
Yeah. A core text that I come back to consistently, and I know y'all are probably tired of hearing me talk about this because I talk about this all the time. It's become a little bit of a thing for me that I'm trying to get deep inside of me, and also like inside of our staff teams and our intern teams, you know, around the church. And it's what Paul says in the very first section of Romans, where he is like longing to be in Rome. He's like, I really want to be there, because he's got a long list of connections. Go read the end of the book. He lists half of them out by name, like just calling them out. Like, I know that you're there, and I really can't wait to see you. So you like see this like intimate friendship dynamic that he has. But this is what he says in Romans chapter 1, verse 11. He says, I long to see you so that I may impart to you some spiritual gift to make you strong. And we get to the end of 11 and we're like, oh, because Paul's Paul, right? Like he's got something like profound and unique to give them. And that's why he's saying what he's saying. But watch what happens next. That is that you and I may be mutually encouraged by each other's faith. So the first verse is like, oh, Paul's just going to give them something. But then the clarification that comes in verse 12 reveals this picture of, I'm going to give you something, but you're also going to give me something. And it's that mutual encouragement that I feel like I am like holding on to very deeply, to go, okay, how do I classify a friendship or a relationship in my life as formative, as opposed to, like, I don't know of another word than just normal, right? Like it's the everyday acquaintance, maybe would be a good word. Like our life is full of acquaintances, right? We know people, we're polite to them, they're polite to us, they're kind to us. They even tell us that we look good every once in a while. They like our stuff on Instagram. But at the end of the day, they're not really forming us very deeply, at least proactively or intentionally. So, okay, the relationships that I have that I would classify as like formative, my question is it of mutual encouragement? And not just encouragement as in making me smile, encouragement in the sense of, are they giving me courage to run my race? And am I giving them courage to run their race? And if the answer to that is no, then I need to think about, what's the content of our friendship? What's the content of our conversation? Are we just talking about the random stuff? Like, are we talking about the in quotes, meaningless stuff, or are we getting beneath the surface? And for me in my life, time is of the essence. So that's why, like, I think it's a little bit of a joke sometimes. I'm like, I'm going to go 1,000,000 miles deep as soon as I possibly can, because in a few minutes, I'm probably going to have to walk out of that door. Yeah. Like, my kid's going to start crying, or there's another meeting, or there's another thing for me to be at. So where I am, like, I heard Bob Goff say years ago, be where your feet are. Be where your feet are, which is when I started writing E and A on the bottom of all of my shoes. I have since stopped, not because I wanted to stop, just because I forgot, to be honest with you. But it was to remind me, everybody always, wherever I am, I'm standing here. I'm going to be where my feet are. I'm going to be present with the people around me. I'm going to seek to impart courage to them. And I'm just going to hope and pray that they'll impart courage to me.
Yeah, I think one thing that comes to mind is I like truly believe that you are the sum of your 5 closest friends, and like you are becoming the people that you spend your most time with, which I also believe like you're being formed one way or the other.
That's so true.
And it's like, okay, are these the people that I want to form me? Are these one thing that I like look for in my friendships, or are they challenging me? Like, do they see things in me? Do they call them out? And do they challenge me when I'm wrong or when I'm off a little bit? Like, are those friends the ones that are going to speak truth? Because I have a lot of people in my life that will be really fun, and like I'll get encouraged from them and all of the things. But my question is, do I have people in my life that are going to be like, no, you're off on that. And here's where you need to line up with scripture. Here's where, here's who you are and who you like are originally called to be, and how you need to step into that more.
Yeah. Do you think that's the reason why people like struggle with formative community, is because they're scared of that level of depth?
For sure. I mean, we could all be like, it's easy for you to say that.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, 100%.
But in the moment when someone goes, hey, Anna, what about your motive here?
Yeah.
Or
No,
hey, when
thank
you said this, like, how do you think that made me feel? Like there's something that happens in like the butterflies, emerge in your stomach, and you're like, oh my goodness, they don't like me. They hate me. They never want to be around. Like the insecurity, whatever your lie is that like comes to your mind happens. So I think that that's a part of it. But also I think that it takes more energy. Like, I don't think that it's just scary.
Yeah.
I think when you leave a formative relationship or relational conversation, it feels a lot like you just went to the gym emotionally.
Yeah,
like,
you're trying to take a nap after.
Yeah, you're taxed. And then a lot of times we don't give ourselves space to recover emotionally. We immediately begin processing, which therefore ends up meaning we write false narratives about the conversation. We allow the false narrative to establish a relational distance because I'm operating underneath my truth or my version of that reality of that conversation, and then you begin to drift apart. That's the natural cycle of relationships in my mind, in culture, and throughout the world. And it's the thing that Jesus just would not let his people do, right? Jesus was constantly misunderstood by his disciples. I think we have this idea of Peter was like, oh yeah, I'm all in all the time. Now Peter just couldn't get it, right? Time and time again. I'd be a lot like Peter. Like Jesus would say something and I would just probably go do the exact opposite. Like, thinking, all meanwhile, I'm going to make him proud.
Yeah.
Like
I'm going to cut this dude's ear off.
Yeah, dude, I got you. Put me in. And Jesus, I think his answer to that wasn't always giving a hardcore, definitive, statement of correction. It was just keep watching me. Like, just stay in proximity to me. Just be with me. And you're going to see something different. Yeah. And I think a lot of times in the world, we rely on sound bites, whether it's for the news story that we're following, but also for the friendship that we're participating in. We take one statement from one person that might not even have been about us, and we allow that little group of words to label our friendship, thus limiting our friendship because it's not actually informed by the fullness of reality.
Yeah, I'm always like curious because I've been in groups with people, formative community, where like we're very similar. Like we love doing the same things. We have the same jokes and laughs. I've also been in groups that have been so formative that have a lot of diversity where we don't think similar at all. What do you feel like is the value between having a group that's very diverse?
I mean, I think that it comes back to how much you want to grow.
Yeah.
You're never going to grow more in a friend group than your friend group is diverse. And we could process all the different ways that a friend group could be diverse, but surrounding yourself with people that are just going to say yes to you all of the time is simply a guarantee that you don't end up actually growing. And if you're not growing, then your relationships and your friendships are not growing because they're tied to one another, and in my mind they are. And you're going to continue to just think the same way over and over again. You're never going to really like expand your perspective. That's a scary place for me. Like I never want to be surrounded by people that are just trying to tell me what I want to hear. And to be honest with you, like in where I sit in ministry, I have to work really hard to make sure that the circles that I'm in, people aren't just being nice to me or just telling me what they think that I want them to say. And I think that happens in the majority of friend groups because we end up becoming friends with people that have a bias toward us. And there's nothing wrong with the sense of like someone liking you and caring for you. But like, let me prove it to you. You know, when you have an area of tension, more often than not, the person you want to run to is the person that's going to make you feel justified in that tension, not hold you accountable to that tension. And I think that that's where we have to retrain our knee-jerk response to go, I'm struggling. I'm going to go to the person who's going to coach me and support me, as opposed to the person that says, oh, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. Don't do anything different. Just keep going. You're fine. I mean, I can tell you that's the person I want to go to in those moments, but it's not the person that I need most in that moment.
Yeah. One of the things I've heard before is like accountability in friendships. Like, I've heard that some people don't want accountability from their friends because they don't want to like ruin the friendship or they don't want like tension in the friendship. What do you think about that? Like, is it appropriate to have accountability in friendships?
Yeah, so then I guess that comes back to like, how would you define a healthy friendship?
Exactly,
right? Like, sure. I would define a relationship of no accountability as it's not a fruitful relationship. No. And therefore, I would say this is probably not all that healthy. Now, here's the asterisk to that. Not everybody that you are friends with should be your accountability partner for everything that you're walking through in life. Like, I think a lot of times we take this pendulum to the other, extreme where it's like, we got to tell everybody everything about our business, and we shouldn't do that. We should tell people that are trusted about our business, and we should be talking to people that are smarter than us, that have more life experience than us, and that are further along in their faith than us. And I think a lot of times that idea, though, of like, it's almost like I'm going to keep my hangout time.
Yeah, I'm going to have fun friends, and I'm going to have like accountability leaders in my life.
Yeah.
Well, think about it. So what you're setting yourself up for is living a double life.
Yeah.
And you're never going to be spiritually healthy or any other form of life healthy if you're living a double life. Like, it's the classic example of this in my mind is the gym and like physical fitness, right? Like, if you're like, I'm going to go and I'm going to work out, and I'm going to be like consistent in the gym, but then I'm going to eat horribly all the time. One's going to cancel the other out at some point, right? You're not going to live in the fullness of the person that you're trying to be in the sense of your physical well-being. And I think a lot of times we do that with friendships, which is dangerous. Because we're telling the people around us, like, you have a corner of my life. You don't have all of it. And then we think we get disappointed. When we don't feel like the friendship is deep enough or like bearing fruit or they don't know us enough. Like, I think I hear that from a lot of people. They're like, my friends just don't really know me. Well, whose fault is that? Like, I love you. And I'm not trying to be harsh, but that's your fault. Like, make yourself available. Go be proactive and tell somebody what you're struggling with. We're constantly waiting for people to come ask us questions as opposed to getting up and going, hey, I need to talk. Like, how many times, I mean, we both have, like, the three of us, like, in our friendship over time, how many times have you come to me at some point along the way, or I've come to you and gone like, dude, I'm having a day. Like, I didn't wait for you to walk in my office. Like, I'm like, no, I'm struggling. Or like, you'll see me and you'll go, dude, are you good? Like, and I
sorry.
No, I appreciate that. But where do you think that came from? Do you think you just started doing that, or at some point along the way, was there a mutual encouragement? Was there a, hey, Jake, I'm not having the best day. Like, will you be in it with me? Like, come empathize with me for a minute because I need a buddy, but then tell me to get up. Like, help me up. Remind me of what's true. I'm talking a lot.
No, that's good.
And I just can't imagine friendship without accountability because I think about, like, you two are two of my, like, closest friends and know so much about me, and you're the ones that I spend a ton of my time with. Would there be like an order
to that, or
no comment?
Oh my gosh.
We do that though. We're like, that person's my best friend.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like, we label that, like, we're constantly in competition with people. And I was obviously completely kidding, but that is true of culture. And then we judge what we share with people based upon where they rank in our lineup.
And then what happens is like the people move to Nashville, and you're like, well, they've moved away, or that
They must not like me.
Yeah, they moved away. They can't be my accountability partners anymore, and so now you have no accountability, and you're walking through life without any community. It's crazy.
But you've refused that.
Yeah.
You're like,
you
no.
have. Yes, you have. We're not talking about you. You have tons of community.
You've said, like, no, I'm going to still be in community with them, but also I'm going to be in community with the people that I live in the same city as. And the people that I share an office with, and the people that I do life with.
Yeah, because the truth of the matter is, like, if y'all didn't know what was going on in my life, I could live that double life. But y'all are the people that I spend the most time with, like, because we're in the office together all the time and we're doing things together. So I'm like, no, y'all need to know, because y'all need to be the ones that see it, like, in the moment, are doing life with me and are able to call things out in me, versus me needing to catch myself and then go to someone that's 500 miles away. And I'm like, hey, I need accountability in this.
100%.
But
because then you're only going to probably share some of the things that you like want to share in that moment, and like they're not going to be able to like see the things up close where you're like, you probably didn't want me to know when I walked into the office that something was going on.
The amount of times that one of them has come in the office and been like, what's wrong? And I'm like, nothing. And they're like, what's wrong? Yeah. And I'm like, ugh.
I'm going to have to edit that sound out.
Please.
The growl is crazy.
No, but I think one thing that makes me think of, which I think is a sign of health in a friendship, is early on in our working friendship or just in our regular friendship rhythm, when we would sense something about each other, it probably took us a couple days to go, are they good?
Yeah.
Like, and then you kind of walk on eggshells a little bit, and you're like, you like slide in, you're like, hey, everything okay? And you keep it super surface level, and then you like go a little bit deeper. Now
we sit down, we're like, what's wrong?
Yeah. And it's rapid, but also you see that in the normal pace of conversation. Like I even think about this just like as a really silly example from yesterday. I was at Chick-fil-A, you tracked me, and we're like, I guess you tracked me. Because I'm standing in the Chick-fil-A line, and you're like, hey, will you pick up my food? And I'm like, I'm walking out the door, Anna, but yes, I'll get your food. And it's like there was a short back and forth because it's been built on a confidence. Like, we're friends. We don't just work together. Like, we're doing life together. So the fluff around the communication goes down because the trust goes higher. And I think within that, the thing to just be mindful of is always prioritize trust over suspicion. Like it could be easy in a short communication to get suspicious. Like, are they upset? Like, is Carson upset that I asked him to get my food? Like that would be the potential insecure thought that you have to then go, no, it's actually a result of the depth of our relationship. That's just like a tangible thing.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
Tangible, I want to leave them with something really tangible. When you think about creating or starting or continuing informative community, what are some pillars or things that they can practice really practically?
Yeah. I mean, I think about one thing I'm growing in my passion for right now, and it's all over, the Christian discipleship, culture conversation right now. John Mark Comer wrote a fantastic book that's gone crazy over it called Practicing the Way. But really thinking about your rule of life. And if you don't know what that is, look up Practicing the Way, John Mark Comer, and go, build a rule of life. He explains it way better than I can in the course of just a few minutes. But I often think about in my friendships, like, are we moving in the same direction? Like, are we valuing the same things? Like, if I'm friends with somebody and I'm valuing a practice of confession in my life right now, and they're not valuing confession in their life, and I'm like, hey, I want to confess something to you. They're going to be like, I don't know what to do in this conversation right now, right?
Like, thank you for telling me.
Yeah. Right. And I can feel the awkward. But then you never get it. In return, and you're going like, okay, now we're building our life from two separate places. So I think in your community, the people that you are core with, which, going back to your comment earlier, everybody's number is different. But I think a lot of times we're trying to be best friends with 20 or 30 people.
Can't do it.
And we get frustrated. So, I mean, Jesus was God, and he had 12. And of the 12, he really, had 3 core people. And according to John, he had one that stood above the rest. But I think about that a lot in my life to go like, okay, well, are there 12 core people? Are there 3 core people? And I'm not going and posting this on my Instagram like, hey, here's my updated
I'll update a list.
I updated 12 people. Sorry I didn't make the cut. You know, like, you don't have to be public about this, but you do need to think about, like in my journal, like I'm thinking about my friends. I'm thinking about how they're growing.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about how I'm growing. I'm thinking about how they're helping me grow, right? And I'm whittling that down a little bit. Bob Goff says there's room for 8 people around your deathbed, so go deep with 8 people. Everybody's got their different thing,
Sure.
Which I love that example because it does remind you, like your time on earth is short. It's short enough that you should not settle for surface level relationships at the potential reward of just a lot of relationships.
Yeah. I mean, I would say, obviously, like prayer, spending time in the Word together. I mean, one of the things that I think I've seen so formative in my like one-on-ones and like my relationships with friends is confession, like continuing to like confess things that I'm like struggling with and going through. That has been monumental, and like the accountability that's come from that has been the thing that has led me to the person I am today. Like Zach Hamby's one of those people who I've talked a lot about like on the podcast, but like he in the beginning spots of my walk with the Lord was always asking me questions, and always was the person when I was like struggling or wrestling through something I would go and confess to. Also like Will is like that guy for me right now, Will Jones. Like I will constantly go to him and tell him things that I'm like going through and struggling with, and he's in my larger group with my small group that Anna's in. And so like, man, just going really, really, really deep in like confessing, like I think has completely changed the game for me. Keeping those things like out in front, in the light, to people. So I would say like that kind of practice has been so helpful for me.
Yeah, and I think that goes along with like letting yourself be known, and which is really scary in our culture, and a lot of times we don't want to do it, and we don't want to go deep with people, and we want to just stay surface level because it's a lot less scary to be hurt by someone if you stayed surface level rather than if you went deep with them. But one thing I think about is taking the time to understand people, to really like sit with them, and it takes time. Like one of my closest friends, Bryce, the one that I say I make a lot more sense when you meet her, our friendship has not been easy, and it has taken years and years for us to get to the place that we're at. We used to fight like cats and dogs. Like we lived together, and I would get so frustrated with her. And it wasn't until we like actually figured out like how we communicate and how we think and what our perspective is that we're able to now be like, oh, this is something we're fighting about, but here's how you see it, and here's how I see it, and here's how we can meet in the middle. But that took a lot of time of both of us trying to figure out each other, and trying to like learn more about one another. And that's done in really intentional conversations, and that's done in just having fun together, because I don't think depth is far from fun. Like I think you can have both of those things in the same space.
Yeah, it needs to be prioritized, because in the same way like we do life with each other in the office, like we have a lot of fun, but we also know each other, and so we're willing to go deep. These things have to be balanced, and you need both.
And we also have a lot of things to do.
Yeah.
I think there is like this idea in the world of like working at a church is just like hanging out with your friends all the time. It's like, you do become really close with the people that you're doing ministry with because of the nature of ministry. But what?
It's like trauma bonding.
it honestly, there's probably we should process that. Maybe not on the podcast first, but when you think about it, like you do have to prioritize. Like, no, how are you? Because it could be easy for you to just come in and go, hey, did you get that thing done?
Yeah.
You're like, or like, are you ready for this? Do we need to talk about it?
No. I'm just sweating.
No. Perfect. But I would say, so a couple of the people that I'm like really close with, 90% of our conversations are that like surface level. How are you? How's your day been? And that's surface level to me, I guess, in the sense of like, there's somebody that's a really close friend of mine. I will call probably when I leave work, and I don't live but like 6 or 7 minutes from our church. We'll probably talk half of the way home. Okay. And that'll be our check-in of the day. And if I don't call him, he'll text me the word who. Like just out of nowhere, he'll just text me who, which stands for Carson who, which means like, you hadn't called me yet today.
Don't even know you.
Hello. Yeah, exactly. I've forgotten who you are. And that's my cue of like, oh, I haven't talked to David today. Okay. Hey, David, how are you? And it's like, how's your day? And that sustains a level of trust in our relationship. So that then the moment of like, the world's fallen. Hey, I'm struggling with this. And then he always has the most helpful 2-line response of like, have you thought about this? I'm like, that was what I called you for. Thank you.
That's good.
Call me when you need me.
Yeah.
And that's how we end our conversations, like almost every time. Call me if you need me.
Yeah.
And he says likewise, or vice versa. And there's a deep trust and a deep truth to that.
Yeah.
And I think the fun is so much more fun when you're doing it with people that you trust deeply.
Yeah, 100%.
Like we have so much fun in the office, and it's because we've built years of relational equity at this point, and we like know each other and know how each other work a little bit.
Yeah, like this morning when I texted you guys, like, what are y'all up to this morning? And, Anna responds immediately. It's like, I'm not doing much, just coming into work. And I was like, well, once Jake responds, let me know. And then, we can.
And that's all we have time
He didn't respond.
Respond to your friends. I'm saying this to me
man.
too. I'm pretty bad too. So.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
waiting for a text back from Carson.
Yeah. Well, okay. The last thing, just to wrap everything up, I think it's extremely important to have people who are proximate to you, but also it's possible to do life with people who maybe you went to school with, high school with, or whatever. You did real life in times past. Like, it's possible to continue to build those deep relationships. Recognize that friendship is going to take work. It's going to be hard at times. It's going to be challenging. I believe that tension is like the beginning to the fruit. And so don't stop at the tension. When you have tension in your relationships, continue to press forward and look at mutual encouragement. Not only going to get to receive, but to give in your friendships, and they will continue to grow and go deeper and deeper. And the last thing I'll say is knowing a lot of people, because we're going to Thanksgiving, a lot of our college students are 18 to 25-year-olds in Overflow are going home. Maybe this is a space for you to begin to think about, what does it look like for me to reconnect with my friends when I get back and begin to prioritize formative community? Because like we say a lot, you're going to become someone at the end of the year, and you want to make sure you look more like Jesus. And so make sure you have some friends that look more like Jesus as well.
Inventory who and inventory depth. Don't just do one of the two, right? Who is in your life? And then what is the depth of your relationship with them, and get gut level honest about it, and then go tell them your assessment. Tell them where you think that you guys are as friends, and then y'all work it out from there.
That's good. Yeah, so come back ready, formative community. We love you guys. Thanks for listening.
Overflow Unplugged.
Let's
Love you guys.
go.
Love y'all.